So, I'm Thompson. Let's talk about it. So, the Rockets have been on a run lately, as I'm sure you're aware. They did lose last night, but before that, I think they were on an 11-game win streak, and they are 2 games back from the Warriors. It was 1 game back before last night. With the Warriors winning and them losing, that might put it slightly out of reach for them, but they are fighting for that 10 seed right now, which did not seem possible before March. There is a Rockets player right now, Jalen Green, getting a ton of buzz, and rightfully so. He's averaging, I think he averaged over 30 in March, or close to it. He was on an insane tear. He still is on a heater, but I want to talk about Thompson, because with Wemby and Chet being as good as they are, a lot of rookies have gone untalked about or not talked about enough, in my opinion. And Thompson is one of them, because at the start of the season, he spent some time in the G League. He didn't really crack the rotation for a while. But as of late, he has really started to play more. You know, he's started a good chunk of games lately, and he's been getting into a rhythm. And he's been averaging 15 and 9.5 over the last 15 or so games. In March, since March started, he averaged 13, 8, and 2.5 assists with 1.4 steals and 0.7 blocks in 26 minutes a game. That is really good. He shot 57% from the field and was really efficient. And a lot of the good stuff that started coming from that was him starting to find his role in the offense. You know, in OTE, where he was before he got drafted, he was one of 2 good players in that league. I mean, the other one was his brother Asar, who is also excellent. Hope he is well. You know, he got blood clots. I hope he turns out fine. That's really scary. Thoughts out to the Thompson family. But Amen finding a role right now in the dunker spot and kind of as this off-ball short roll guy sometimes. He can create still on ball. He's doing that sometimes, especially on drives. He has occasionally hit a mid-range pull-up. He still cannot shoot the backside of a barn with a three-pointer. He shot 11% in March. He made 1 3 the whole month, and that is not good. Obviously, he's not a shooter right now. I don't know if he ever will be. I think I have hope for him to get to an Aaron Gordon level of three-point shooter, which is not fantastic, but sometimes Aaron Gordon makes 2 or 3 in a game, you know. Sometimes he makes one in the clutch, and maybe Amen could do that. Maybe Amen could do that in the future. Who's to say? Who's to say, right? And I think one thing that's really been exciting about him is that dunker spot role, because he is so freakishly athletic. He is a 99.9 percentile athlete, an absurd athlete. His excel and decel is great. On drives, sometimes you'll see him drive in and just slow down completely and from nothing, stop on a dime and just get it up because his guy runs past him, or he'll just accelerate past a guy and he's not prepared to have the 6'7" dude just blast past him, but he does, because he's just that athletic. He is absurdly crafty a lot of the time, and also does not have a load time with his jumper, or with jumping in general. He jumps and he does not have to bend his knees much, so he gets off the ground quick, which is not the case for some guys. And I think it's important for his game, because if you catch him in the dunker spot, he's going to just be able to jump and dunk it like that, right? He's already one of the better dunker spot guys in the league, and is shooting a good percentage at the rim. He's shooting 67% at the rim, which is 67th percentile for wings per clean glass. He's gotten better at that as the year has gone on. He is shooting 38% on long mid-range shots, which is 49th percentile. Not a large sample size in the slightest. Yeah, there's only 21 according to Cleaning the Glass, but that is still something. Hey, he kind of has a little mid-range game. He has a decent floater bag. He's not fantastic at it yet, but that is something he can go to occasionally, and it works well enough, I think, especially for a rookie. On offense, he is still a creative passer. That was one of the things I was big on with him before the draft. I also have seen him play live before the draft. I went to an OTE event to interview him and Asar. I never ended up releasing the interview because I just never got around to writing the article, but I did interview both of them, and they were very nice people, very insightful, as to how they would want to improve their games and that sort of thing. And Amen has improved throughout the season. He started in the G League. Now he's starting. He is doing well, right? On the Rockets run, he was averaging 15-9 with 2.5 assists roughly, which is not a lot on paper, but the assists themselves are good for one, and two, he's doing this from like a tertiary creation standpoint. He's not the primary quite yet. He's playing with Fred VanVleet. He's playing with Jalen Green. He's playing with Şengün when he does play with Şengün. You know, like, he's not a primary playmaker on his team yet, but defensively, he has been elite. You could make an argument, I think, that Amen Thompson is already a top 5 wing defender in the league. I would say he's more top 10, but you could make an argument for top 5, and I would not argue with you over it. He is currently averaging a 1.5% block percentage, a 2.4 steal percentage. He's also an elite rebounder for his position with 9.8% offensive rebounding percentage, which means on 10% of his team's misses, he is grabbing a rebound. That is 100th percentile for wings. On defensive rebounding percentage, 17.7. Same thing as the offensive rebound, but just for defensive rebounding. That is also 100th percentile. So he is the top wing rebounder in the league, basically, right now. And the block and steal percentages are both around the 95th percentile. So he is already an elite defender, like ELITE period elite. It is absurd what he is doing. He moves super well, moves his feet very well, gets in passing lanes, blocks shots, doing everything you could want from a rookie defensively, doing everything you could want from a player defensively, really. Like, the only players really in a tier above him defensively are like Herb Jones and Alex Caruso, man. It is absurd what he is doing defensively, and I love watching it. Like, if you like watching defense, watch Amen Thompson, watch Asar Thompson. The Thompson twins are fantastic defenders. Fantastic. I love watching them play. Love it. And he's a demon in transition. Grab the rebound, down the court in 2 seconds, lob it up, dunk it, do whatever. He is an absurd transition player. Has the potential to be one of the best transition players in the league, either as the ball handler or just as a dunk threat, a lob threat, because he is quick without the ball and he's learning to move without the ball, right? Because a lot of the dunker spot role, like in Aaron Gordon, other dunker spot players, is being able to roam without the ball, finding those weak points in the defense, finding where you can get in behind the defense so you can get an open dunk. It's an important skill to develop, and he's developing it on a team that might make the play-in for the first time since James Harden, I'm pretty sure. That's not nothing. In the West, that is an impressive feat to make the play-in in the West. There are 11 teams above 500 in the West right now. That is the first time in NBA history that would have been done if all of those 11 teams finish with an above 500 record. The Rockets would probably be an outright playoff team in the East, because you have to keep in mind, it's not just a one-for-one record translation from the West to the East. The East teams get to play the Wizards, the Pistons, the Hornets multiple times in a season, not just twice, right? They get to play them 3-4 times. If the Rockets got to play those teams 3-4 times a season, that's another 6 wins. You don't get that in the West. Instead, you get to play the Kings, the Rockets, even the worst team in the West, which is the Spurs, has Wemby. They have Victor Wembanyama, who is putting up absurd stats. He is doing things we have never seen before on a nightly basis. He is an alien, right? You don't get... Sorry, that's a side tangent. I can make a separate video about that maybe. But back on track. Amen Thompson is a glitch. Amen Thompson is the Flash. Amen Thompson is an absurd athlete with an absurd skill set outside of his shooting. If he even gets close to league average as a shooter, which I don't think will happen, but if it does, come here. If it does, the league is fucked, dude. Draft class, man, has so many elite talents in it, potentially. Between Wemby, between the Thompson twins, Cason Wallace has been killing it for OKC. I mean, Chet's part of this rookie class. He's not part of the draft class, but he's been absurd as well, Brandon Miller has been killing it for Charlotte to the point where people are like, is he better than LaMelo Ball? And if you're better than LaMelo Ball or even being talked about that as a rookie, you're doing something. Amen Thompson is going to be fun. He's so fun. Enjoy him. Have fun with him, man. I get that they can't shoot right now. Neither him nor his twin can shoot. But you can impact the game without shooting. Obviously, you want them to be able to shoot. And hell, I think in order to reach their ceilings, obviously they need to be able to shoot. But they both have all NBA ceilings. They both are all NBA defenders right now. All defensive team defenders right now. Like, they are that level at the moment. They will reach Defensive Player of the Year potential in like 2 seasons, which I don't know if they'll ever win one because Wemby is going to be, in the league for probably their entire careers. But if he's not, one of them might win one. So yeah, that's my little spiel on Amen Thompson. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. It really helps the video in the algorithm. I'm getting close to monetization. I'm like 300 and so subs off, and that's closer than you might think, because last month we grew like 300 subs. So if we keep that rate up this month, I'll be at the monetization by the playoffs, and that would be great. If not, completely get it. Just don't, just leave a comment telling me how I can improve. I'm open to criticism. Just keep it civil. Like, tell me, hey, turn the mic up, because some of you guys at the start of the channel were like, hey, turn your mic up, and I've tried to do that. I've tried to be more expressive with the mic. I've tried to, get a little more of my voice intonations in there. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I've had a lot of fun coming back to making basketball content. Yeah, I also Thursday, I believe, I'm recording a podcast with Rusty Buckets. You can look forward to that. Anyways, yeah, see ya.